Moto, Paras, hey, congratulations for the experience on Lego Masters for both of you.
Thank you.
It's really funny. I actually put on a lab coat thinking that you guys would actually put on lab coats, but I guess not.
It's right over there, but it's the middle of summer, and I turned off the air conditioning for the sound, and yeah, if I do another layer, I'm not going to be a happy person. But thank you for the solidarity.
Totally, yeah.
You know, I was supporting you guys. You know, I just was going, you know what? These guys know what they're doing. They have lab coats on. They're engineers. I was cheering you guys on since the beginning.
Thank you. Yeah, we knew what we were doing most of the time.
Yeah.
It was that one time that got us off, but you know, most of the time we knew what we were doing.
So I guess the big question, or at least my big question, is why the lab coats? Obviously, you know, you're not scientists. You know, you're not in the medical community. You're engineers, and I know plenty of engineers that don't wear lab coats. Why did you guys want to basically come out with that for a show like this?
I'm going to hand it off to this person to tell the story of the lab coat.
Well, so that's interesting. So I don't think it didn't really come out in the episodes, unfortunately. I think a lot of it got cut. The Science Alliance was created by a buddy of mine who was my original partner, who ultimately couldn't make it at the last minute, and so he was the one who actually created it. And the casting folks just loved it, and they kept encouraging us to keep it. I think, and when Moto when Moto and I got together, I don't know if there was any reluctance on Moto's part, but the casting definitely strongly suggested we continue the whole Science Alliance thing. So
no, I liked it, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So if you think about it strategically, this is the scientific side.
Okay.
The more pockets you have, the more ability you have to move brick from the pit back to your table. Absolutely. All the containers aside. So having 19,000 large pockets into a garment is a great way to go if you're really thinking of taking on a show in a very logical, constructive manner. So even though it was a slight advantage, not a huge one, it was something worth taking. Yeah. And it's a little fun, it's a little silly, but if they want someone to represent a scientific lens or perspective on the show, and to highlight that to inspire builders from all over, why not? Why not go for it? And just hopefully it does inspire and resonates with people, so that they want to take, that little step into the STEAM education, or that little step forward into thinking about physical properties of builds, or learning new techniques that are built on, the more advanced topics. So, no, I don't wear a lab coat when I'm designing software. That's not happening, but I'm sure the people, or when I'm racking and stacking a server, I'm not wearing a lab coat. But, I can assure you it's more of the cosmetic ideal that we were trying to live up to. And I think it worked pretty well.
Well, there's always a practical reason for everything.
Pockets, man. I'm telling you, pockets.
Let me tell you, mine were filled.
Now, the thing that what a lot of people love both of you guys is both of your backgrounds were actually in engineering. How much at the beginning of the season? How much did you think that was an advantage? And do you guys realize how many people out there who admire for your STEM background into bringing that into the forefront of Lego Masters?
Yeah, so I own a nonprofit. I started a nonprofit where we teach STEAM education, and I know from that experience that a great many of the kids that take my classes are children of engineers, and Lego is just a fantastic tool to utilize to convey technical information, even to a child, and especially to a child. It was, in my view, it's always been a great advantage to think, critically, like an engineer. And I mean, art is a component of STEAM education for a reason, because I think it uses a lot of those same brain cells. Art definitely builds on it, and definitely the creativity has to come in. So I'm a believer, kind of like Steve Jobs used to say, that engineering by itself is just not really enough, and neither is art. But you bring the two together, I think you have a very powerful formula for doing something extraordinary.
Yeah, I would say the engineering and design principles was an advantage, and I can go through episode by episode really quickly. So the first one, the gearbox mechanics were essential for a complex motion. That was kind of our thing. The hero shot challenge, the explosives were used in a shaped charge to stop, magnify, and then loft all the rainbow elements up in a pattern. That's a controlled explosion. So that deals with, MacGyverism, pyrotechnics, a little bit of Mythbusters. The tower challenge, civil engineering. We have, where I went to school, there was a shake lab where they would take real physical buildings and shake them down to nothing on a gigantic shake plate. So similar principles align there, and we had an incredibly strong structure as durable. And then the wearable, although it wasn't solved well, was about combining, a huge height requirement with a huge length requirement, along with a center of gravity requirement. And trying to bring those all together and have a human wear it, just set the bar even higher. But a lot of this stuff really deals with gravity or physics, or a lot of the what I call structural engineering, as well as some, you saw some of the mechanics, some of the mechanical engineering side. Now, we didn't take on aerospace, but maybe one of these days they'll throw a challenge in there and try to make stuff fly. Who knows?
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I would say the other cast members also looked at us, tried to learn from our engineering abilities. We were helping each other also. And I tried to absorb all of their artistic and creativity into what I was doing. So but I would say from an engineering standpoint, I think a lot of the cast felt that the engineering was a significant advantage.
That is great, and I could tell that you guys are still lovers of Legos. I mean, in Moto's background, I could see all those Legos back there, and Paras, looks like you have some kind of workshop behind you yourself.
Yeah, I don't have a dining room, but I do have a Lego room.
No, it's common. I think you're gonna see this when you encounter like one of these top level AFOL builders. You're gonna see like the tray system behind Paras, or myself. You're gonna see large mock displays. It's just part of what we do as a community. So I'm glad you like it. You're gonna see a lot more probably as you do these interviews. Yeah.
That is terrific. Well, hey, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys actually representing the STEM community on Lego Masters. I kind of wish you guys actually, went a little further, but you know what? I think overall it's a great representation, and it's great experience overall for everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's not the end of physical creators. There are still plenty of teams that have, I'd say, construction experience, and they're bringing those talents to the forefront. So keep watching, because these other teams are still in play and they're still succeeding. So even though we're out, I would say, the engineering principles, the design principles, and the mechanical knowledge maybe wasn't highlighted among the teams, but you can definitely see teams who have that as part of their DNA, and they're still moving forward and succeeding. So no reason not to keep watching those teams move forward and having a blast, and I'll be rooting for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy it for sure, Gig.